your eyes are not deceiving you. This isn't a Marvel figure. What? Hello, this is Ken. I like making things. I like making things out of paper, and I like making things cooler. Especially my figures. Sometimes figures don't look all that screen accurate. All they need is a bit of touch up here and there to unleash their hidden potential. I also love using everyday tools and materials to recreate iconic scenes from my figures, so they can shine on my display. Subscribe to my channel and join my DIY adventure as I ask myself the same question every week. Can I make it? Last week, I added the blue highlights to the symbiote Spider-Man figure, so he and Venom can become best buddies. Check it out if you haven't already. Today, I'm gonna work on this DC McFarlane Batman figure. Your requests have been granted. This is my first DC figures in recent years. Batman used to be one of my favorite characters. In fact, I still have the figure from the animated series. It's been decades since then. I figured maybe it's time for me to work on an updated version of him. So, let's deconstruct this figure. There's an FAQ on the paint and brushes I use in the description box below. You know what? There's nothing wrong with this figure. I don't really think there's anything that needs to be fixed. It's pretty good. I love that they used a variety of finishes on the figure, giving the figure more texture. The legs are the only part that I wish could be better. It has this glossier finish that looks slightly odd. The head is interesting. Not sure if all the Batman figures are like this, but he's looking off to the side. I won't be able to change that. My hands are not steady enough. But I love the details on the cowl. Overall, this figure is great. I'm gonna try and change the texture slightly, nothing drastic. I don't want to do anything too crazy for my first DC McFarlane video. So, can I make it? By the way, thank you for those who suggested washing the figure with soapy water first. I still don't know if I'm doing this right, but I do notice that the paint is applying to the plastic better after a wash. Okay, first, I'm gonna mix myself a grey color for the armor. I mixed in a bit of green. All the reference images I found seem to suggest that the suit has a bit of a yellow/green hue. Let me start by testing this color on the legs. Oh, it's not even close. My grey is still too blue. Oh well. What I'm trying to do here is that I'm trying to mattify the textures on the legs. The color unfortunately doesn't match, and it's a bit too late to redo this. So I'm just gonna go with it. I'm gonna apply a very thin layer so the original color can still kinda come through. I'm going to avoid painting the under layer, so there's more depth to the suit. Hey, that actually looks pretty good so far. It looks more realistic in a weird way. Interesting. Let me apply the same grey onto the body too. I love that there's more separation to the grey now. And maybe it's just the nostalgia speaking, but this grey reminds me of the 90s animated Batman. I like that the belt has this leathery sheen, but I feel like it's just a touch too glossy. So I'm brushing a tiny amount of black over the belt to dull it down slightly. Usually our eyes look at the shiniest thing first. I don't want the attention to get stuck on the belt. The bat symbol should be the thing that grabs your attention. I'm also going to darken the straps on his legs too. The legs need more depth. They look a bit unpainted originally. And I'm gonna do the same thing to the boots. They appear too glossy to me. almost like a pair of rain boots, especially the top half of the boots. And I'm going to dry brush a bit of brown to the bottom of the boots to make them a bit grittier and dirtier. Oh, can't forget the neck. Just dulling it down a bit. This is what the figure looks like so far. I love what I'm seeing. The legs look so much more like tactical gear now. Next, let me add a bit of details onto the bat symbol. The bat symbol also doubles as the batarang. That's pretty cool. I'm going to dry brush a bit of silver there to make it look sharper and scratched up. And since I'm using silver already, I'm going to use it to touch up the gauntlets and the buckles on the figure. Correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is one of the rare McFarlane figures. There are so many of them, but I don't see this one often. I was lucky enough to come across this one during a work trip, so I picked it up. I haven't seen another one since then. For my first DC McFarlane figure, it seems fitting to start with a rare one. Alright, I'm going to mix some black with the silver to get a gunmetal color. I'm going to apply this color onto the shoulder pads to give them more of that metallic feel. Right now they look a bit rubbery. I'm also brushing a bit of this onto the gauntlet. That did nothing. Oh, I believe the tips here are supposed to be silver. Let me quickly fix that. And there seems to be two black straps on the gauntlet too. Little things that make this figure more screen accurate. Alright, on to the face. Again, there's really nothing wrong with the face. Maybe the eyes. But those I'm not confident enough to fix. I'm first going to gently apply that gunmetal color over the cowl. I don't want it to look metallic, but I want the color to match the rest of the suit. The face may be the weakest part of the figure. The paint app is pretty flat. Pat Patterson has more texture and colors on his face, so I'm going to try and make the skin look a bit more lifelike, and add a bit of stubble. Let's hope this works. Here's the painted head. Not much has changed. The face looks a bit more natural, and the details on the cowl are more obvious. What about the overall figure? Hey, you can now support me on Patreon. I post quite regularly there, from behind the scenes updates to sneak peeks to video breakdowns. Top tier members will receive a DIY 3D mini poster every month. These mini posters look great by themselves, but even cooler next to other mini posters. I love making things, and this is my way to thank my supporters. The link to my Patreon is in the description box down below. Let's see. At a glance, the top half looks pretty much the same, just a bit of a color change. The cape is fine the way it is. The legs, though, have greatly improved. Let's take a closer look. Oh, the differences are more obvious here. The suit now pops so much better. What I also love is that the batarang is what grabs my attention. I would have been fine with the figure unpainted, but I'm very satisfied with what I've done. I am open to doing non-MCU figures. The reason why my channel mostly focuses on MCU Marvel Legends is because I have made a decision to only collect Marvel Legends and other figures that I genuinely want. I don't want to start collecting every line of figures out there, it's because I have limited space. That said, I am looking forward to doing more DC McFarlane figures, Which one should I do? Let me know down below, and I'll see if I can find them. Another way that may work is that you can send figures to my PO box. If it's a figure I don't intend to keep, I'll do it as a giveaway. Anyway, let's end this with a photo shoot. This figure is very photogenic. I think these DC McFarlane figures visually are less toy-like when compared to Marvel Legends. However, maybe it's the design of this Batman. He doesn't have the best range of motion. Even though he has toe articulations, he's still quite hard to balance for some reason. But I love how realistic the figure looks. The joints are very well hidden. I also love how the shoulder pads reflect the light. Actually, the way the entire figure catches the light is pretty awesome. The whole suit looks and feels like something you would see in real life. This is my favorite shot here. It's so cool. Give this video a like and subscribe if you liked today's video. Maybe I'll do more figures like this. We'll see. And as always, stay inspired and I'll see you next week. I can make it, so can you.